Amazing. Welcome to today's open Q&A. Today we'll be focusing on creating an NPC character that follows you around in space while reporting incoming Twitch chat. So this is using our custom Twitch interactive streamer plugin, which we created for this VTuber project to listen in on Twitch chat. So you'll be receiving different incoming messages, and then you can use these incoming messages for many, many different things. So today we'll be creating an NPC character that will have this kind of dialogue on top of the character, and it'll just be constantly updating chat messages in real time. And we just thought this would be such a cute way for you to do your VTuber streams while having some kind of interaction in space. So Lola, in this pink character here, will be following us around so that you can have a more enjoyable stream in Unreal. So first of all, I'm just going to show you quickly how I've done this. I've done this super quickly, probably in the span of 15 minutes, so it'll be a very quick tutorial for everyone. So we'll just have to find, oops, I think Lola's gone. But you can see that there is a Twitch chat that's currently happening over here. I'm just going to find Lola here and hit play. Hopefully they are around. So now you can see that there's a little character. This is a very quick tutorial, but I've just created a very easy character blueprint that's using the AI move to node and following us around while updating Twitch chat. So as we move around in our VTuber studio, we'll see that the character is following us while reporting incoming Twitch chat. You'll see that when there is kind of like frequent chat movement, the post-processing effects are also really strong. So that's just added in with this character with the kind of Twitch chat blueprint. But yeah, it's very fun to just play around and walk around in space to have a little chat reporter. So with our Twitch plugin, I can drop a little link in the chat below later, and also on our YouTube video. We've created an interactive streamer plugin that allows you to listen in on different Twitch channels while also writing in your own chat messages. So first of all, I've created a blueprint that inherits the Twitch connection manager from this plugin, and then on the Twitch chat listener settings, I've added a channel. So I've just found a streamer on Twitch at the moment that's streaming, and then it will automatically listen in on the streamer's incoming chat. So you can imagine yourself doing a stream, you can type your own channel name in and it will automatically receive all the kind of chat messages coming in. So this is a very interesting, I guess quite fun way to stream with a little character around. So you could present yourself as an avatar while having a accompanying character. And so this character is created by Jasper. I think the character's Lola, so there's a bit of feedback. So yeah, it would be really interesting to see what other ideas you have to incorporate incoming Twitch chat messages.
The noted is UTC and the
There's a lot of sorry, I just had to mute. So yeah, really excited to see how we can do this. So for those just came in earlier, I'm just going to show you quickly again what this tutorial looks like. So now we have Lola following us every second and just telling us what a certain Twitch channel is saying. So these are all the kind of like comments from a Twitch stream, and we're just listening in. Right, so I'm just gonna start from scratch, and just please feel free to stay on a little. I'm just gonna quickly change a branch of my GitHub so I can retain this version, but then continue to revisit. And I'll just be starting from scratch. But the workflow basically is to first import the interactive streamer plugin into your project. So in the VTuber template now already we have the OWL interactive streamer content, and in the C++ folder you will find a Twitch chat listener. And in here I basically dragged this into the level and created a blueprint out of it. And in there, in this Twitch channel, I've created a Niagara system that connects to it, that we've talked about maybe 2-3 weeks ago. But then on top of this, I've created a new NPC Lola character. And in here, I'm basically referencing the Twitch chat manager, and I've made this variable public so we can drag the Twitch chat manager we're using. And I'm using event tick here just for a really quick test. Obviously, it's not optimized for really heavy streams yet, but it's a very quick way to get this to work. So I've used event tick and using the AI move to so that Lola can target the player pawn, which is our kind of player controller in the scene, and just making sure it's cast to this the right Twitch chat connection manager blueprint, and using that to get the receiving Twitch chat and make it into a string so that we can set the text of this text render component. So apart from the kind of like Twitch connection, apart from the Twitch connection bit, this is just a really quick way to set text for Lola. So you can see Lola is a character blueprint with a walking animation, with a text render component. Very simple setup. So we're going to just start from scratch now. And I'm just going to quickly, very quickly, close the VTuber Studio and then open it up again fresh so that we can start again. So for those of you looking, I might as well also forward this plugin in the chat, so feel free to download it from this chat. It's super easy to use, so I'd recommend trying to use that as well. Just gonna zip it up. Streamer, and I'm gonna put this as okay, cool. So this is our latest kind of plugin for Unreal, and I'm just going to hit this up and change my GitHub branch. Great, switching's done. So now I'm just gonna do everything from scratch. So this is our VTuber project, and when you clone the project from GitHub, you should see a plugins folder. Of course, I already have the interactive streamer here, but I'm just going to do it again. So to replace the files there so that everyone can see. So in here, I'm gonna extract this folder and replace the existing one with this new plugin. I'll just replace all the files there. And once that's ready, we can basically just open up the VTuber Studio. It should be, this is on the main branch, so it should be the same as the project that I've just shown you earlier. The only difference is this NPC character, which we'll be creating from scratch today. So before anything happens, ideally we'd have to find an appropriate NPC character. So of course I've casted this Lola character, which is created by Jasper, and I wanted to look for more some different animations for this character. So basically uploaded this character on Mixamo, and because I wanted Lola to walk around and follow me in the scene, I've just searched for walking animations and downloaded them. I think the only thing to pay attention to is that because we already have the moving to node in Unreal, we'll basically need just a walking in place animation. So you won't need any of this movement, you'll just need to walk in place. Sorry, that's just popped up. So if you have any character, feel free to go on Mixamo now and upload your characters and then download anything that's in place, like a animation asset in place. With that, with that now, I'm just going to change this to an animation asset so we don't have to constantly use any mocap. This is what the character looks like. And I'm just going to import the new Lola animations now, which I've placed in here. So any of Lola's walking animation would be great. So I've imported it as an FBX. Because I already have Lola's mesh in it, I won't be needing to import the mesh, but I'll need to assign it to the same skeleton with an animation. So I'm just going to hit import all. And you'll see that the animation should be imported here. That's great. So first thing we need to do is to create a new character blueprint for the NPC version of Lola. So what we're going to do is right click and hit blueprint class. We'll be creating a character blueprint. So I'm going to name this NPC Lola, and I'm going to double click it. The first thing we need to do is to replace the mesh. We already have Lola's mesh here, so I'm just going to search Lola. Slightly big, so I'm just going to hit it as 0.6 across the scale. In here, we have imported a new animation asset, so we'll be using the walking Mixamo. You can see that it's definitely rotated in the wrong angles. Just didn't really double check the kind of axis change, so I'm just going to rotate it like so that the arrow is pointing towards the arrow of the character blueprint is pointing towards the direction that Lola is walking towards. So very basic setup, just moving Lola around really, and rotating it so that it looks right. This is all very simple. This is all just very simple kind of transforms, so that will all be good. So what we need to do now is to make sure that you also have the Twitch chat connection manager in your level. And I already do have a Twitch chat connection manager, and I'll need to listen in on a channel. This is just the channel I've been following for this. So now in the Twitch chat connection manager blueprint, you'll see that originally in the project, we've already got a bit of nodes in there. Basically, what this blueprint does is that it can receive Twitch chat messages. You'll have to break the Twitch message into bits, so you can only get the message from each incoming chat, because it will include kind of the username, channel, commands, all the different badges and tags of a person's message. Today we'll just be kind of detecting and receiving incoming message. And when I was doing the tests for this Twitch chat connection, I used print string, but today we'll be using a variable that stores the message, and then we'll be using that variable on the NPC. We'll be using the same variable in the NPC Lola blueprint. So first, I'll create a blueprint that's called Twitch chat. And we'll be using the, and this is a string. And in here, we will need to, once we have a Twitch chat message received, we'll need to break this Twitch chat message. We can delete this print string now and set the Twitch chat. So we'll be setting the Twitch chat with the message. So I'm assuming we're just going to do this. And I'm just going to connect. You don't really need the Niagara. That was for the previous tutorials. So in a new Twitch chat connection manager blueprint, you'll only need these three. So event Twitch chat message received, break the Twitch chat message, and then set your variable. So now we will need to access this variable via another blueprint. I'm using a way to just access the variables within Twitch chat connection manager via NPC Lola blueprint. So in the Lola blueprint, we will need to open up the event graph. And as you can see earlier, I used the event tick just because it's the easiest way to kind of test things. Obviously, a lot of game developers will tell you that event ticks are bad. We'll just be using this temporarily for today. And what we need to do now is potentially create a new variable that can reference our Twitch chat manager. So I'll be creating a variable named Twitch chat manager, and the object type is Twitch chat manager blueprint. This is the one I've created specifically for this level, and I'm going to make this variable public so that when we drag NPC Lola into the scene, we can just set that straight away. To demonstrate that, this is basically how it's going to look. So I've dragged NPC Lola into the level, and in here I can then assign the appropriate Twitch chat connection manager. So that's now referencing the manager in the level. Going back to NPC Lola, what we can do is get this Twitch chat manager, and something quite good to do is use casting so that we're basically making sure that the variable is of the same class as the Twitch chat connection manager blueprint. After this, we'll be able to access the variables within the Twitch chat connection manager, and I believe the one that we need is Twitch chat, get Twitch chat, which is the variable we've used. And then we're going to add a text renderer. A text render so that we can constantly set the text for Lola. There's something wrong with the text material that I will fix very quickly, but I'm just going to do this, move around. I might just create a new material because it's a bit simpler. So in starter content, you should have some kind of like font material that already works right out, like that's more plug and play. I've just created a font material because I don't think I have enough starter content in this project. And then also a lazy way to do it is that to make a font material, I usually make them offline, make these fonts offline so that they become textures that you can make into a material. So I'm going to make them offline again. And this is maybe a bit bad, but I'm just using Arial and maybe 18 font. Hope this will be visible. And so in the material, I think we need to reference the font. Sorry, this is the probably least exciting part of the projects. I'm gonna see if this works. Spam time cache. It'll just take some time for this. It should work because I've made the font material offline now, so just waiting. I'm gonna double hit it again to make sure it is right. It still thinks that the font is runtime. Okay, I'm just gonna start again. Please work. Oh, it's still on still thinks it's runtime. Let me have a check. It's a super unorganized way for me to do it, but I think this will work this time. And yeah, so now we get a text. Now we get a font texture that we can create a material with it. And now Lola is showing text. So super basic material, but today's focus is making sure that the Twitch chat appears on Lola's head and Lola also follows us. So super quickly, we have created a character blueprint with Lola's mesh assigned with an animation asset and a text render. So we have the basic qualities of a do you hear me right now or am I muted?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, cool, perfect. So now we've got the components of the Lola character. To have more fun now, maybe we should try to make Lola follow us in the space. So what we're gonna do is take this away first. No, actually, let's get the text onto the text render. So we've already referenced a Twitch chat manager and we've cast it to Twitch chat connection manager. Now we can get the kind of like variable from Twitch chat manager and we can set the text for the text render. So we can set text by getting the text render and then just set text and the value. I'm just linking up the variable to the text and we can see if it works and if it's updating. I also need to make sure that the streamer is currently streaming. So we're looking at this streamer, which was also should be streaming. Just need to follow one person and then also set the variable grade. So yeah, I think it should work. So now we can see that Lola's already printing. We've got text on top of Lola, and it's updating to this Twitch stream. It's basically only broken up the messages that are incoming, so we don't know which user is sending them, but a very basic way to use this is just to update the text render on top of a character. And now we want Lola to walk around in space like a proper NPC. So what we're going to do is open up Lola again in the NPC Lola blueprint. And we will need Lola to use this node, which is AI move to. It's a super easy way for NPCs to move around in space. You'll need to define the pawn and the target actor. So the pawn, you can use a reference to self, and to get a reference to self. And then in terms of the target actor, we want it to follow us in space. And in this project, we're using the OWL player controller as our pawn class. And so it's not really a player character, it's more like a pawn in space. So if you see this, so it doesn't really have a collider. We just wanted it to be as smooth as possible. And so it is basically a player pawn. So the target actor will be get player pawn, that we're using our own. We'll be using this as our target actor so that Lola, which is self of this blueprint, will be targeting this player pawn. And now I think Lola should be following us, hopefully. Oops. Before this begins, we need to create a NavMesh. So a navigation mesh helps any AI system in Unreal finds a kind of ground to step on and walk around. So a NavMesh can be found in volumes, NavMesh bound volume. You can basically drag it into your scene and scale it around. You'll need to use the P button to find which, to kind of like make sure that we've configured this space properly. NavMesh. Great. And now I've kind of just scaled it enough so that Lola has enough space to walk on. I might just extend it further and move it around. Maybe this is enough space for this tutorial, and from my memory I had to also turn off the collision for this so that it's not blocking Lola's walking. So I'm gonna make this to no collision. So now I'm gonna hit P again to hide the NavMesh controls, and hopefully this time be walking towards us. Might be that we are currently blocked by this. We're currently blocked by the desk, but let's move around. There's another thing I wanted to change, which is move slightly up, which is the walking speed. So for every character blueprint, you're able to change the walking speed in here. I think I just type speed. Making it 50 is much more manageable from my memory, so I'm just gonna change this and have a look. So now we can see Lola just walking around and reporting incoming Twitch chats. Obviously, there's so many ways to use the Twitch chat connection manager. But the AI move to node is very magical because it just makes a lot of things a lot of kind of game objects interactive in your level with an animation asset. So potentially some upgrades to this character blueprint is to create a blend space for the character so that it can blend from idle and walking animation, and perhaps make a little speech bubble for it as well. As you can see, my font material isn't great, it's very quickly made. But now when you're streaming in your space, you'll find that it's more fun to just navigate around your space with someone around. So hopefully that was a fun tutorial. You can see it's very quick setup. Only involves one character blueprint and a Twitch chat connection manager, which you can find in our blueprint directly. You'll just need a text renderer in your character and an AI move to node to make this interactive and fun for you when you move around the space. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Feel free to send us any questions if you have any. And yeah, thank you so much for joining today's stream. I'll definitely also update the repository with a new version of this project soon, so feel free to also kind of just fetch and get new updates of the projects. And maybe we'll find a way to avoid the event tick next time. But yeah, just for a quick tests, it's sometimes quite easy to use the tick. Does the Twitch chat plugin also allow for receiving names, other info, or is the chat text only? So currently we are able to get, so I'm just going to pull this up and also show you what the plugin looks like in our plugins folder. So in the C++ class, interactive streamer public, you'll find two types of listener and sender. So for Twitch chat's listener, it basically looks like this blueprint over here. So feel free to just drag this into the level and you'll see that it has, we can listen in on different channels, and you can listen in on multiple channels at the same time as well. So sorry, I've just accidentally double clicked on the C++ script. So you should be able to listen to a few channels at the same time. And on event Twitch chat message received, you'll see that when you break the message, you can get most, currently these are all strings, but we are able to also get emojis and badges, for example. So currently it's more manual, where you'd have to kind of connect the username to message or use different messages to generate certain visuals in Unreal. You can also, if you have the kind of like materials and images for different badges, you can assign them to different materials or objects in your level. So currently we are text only at the moment, but we'll be able to develop this more. But yeah, we were really interested to know like what kind of features you'd be interested in. Some people mentioned channel points as well, that we find could be very useful for streamers. But yeah, do you usually do you have a certain feature that you'd be interested in using? Then we can further develop the plugin. And just to continue on the sender. The sender is also really interesting. One, if I drag it in, you'll need an OAuth token and a username and channel. So the only difference is when I hit play, I'll be directed to this website where you can click and get your access token. So this is a kind of redirection for you to kind of click this button and obtain your token, and it'll guide you through to log into your own account, because to write a message you'll need a token, so that we know it's you that's logged in. But to listen in, you won't need any kind of authentication. But yeah, it would be really interesting to know what's the most usual kind of use case, or like what kind of features you'd like to be created for this plugin, and then we can further develop this over the next few weeks. If not, we'll be following up next week with more updates on the XR Animator application that we'll be working on to integrate with the VTuber Studio. So we've been working on a lot of blend shapes and post tracking for the project, and hopefully more additions in the next few weeks as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back next Wednesday at 3 p.m. BST. So thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.